Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something you do all the time, probably without even a second thought, saving a file. It feels instantaneous, right? But there's this quiet, really elegant dance happening in the background. So let's gently explore that little piece of everyday magic.
So, think about it. You type up a quick note, maybe a comment online, and you hit save. But what does that even mean? Where does that little piece of information actually live? And how in the world does your computer know how to find it again?
Well, it turns out that this one simple action is the bedrock for so much of what we do online. I mean, from online diaries to huge websites, it all boils down to the basic idea of a file. The best way to wrap your head around a file is to just picture a notebook. That's it. It's a special place where we can keep a certain kind of information, and we give it a name so we can find it on the shelf later. And here's the more formal way of saying that. Just like you'd have a specific notebook for math and another for your history class, a file is just a bunch of data with a unique name. That name is absolutely crucial. It's the address the computer uses to go get it. And this is a perfect example of why this is so powerful. For a lot of things, like a simple guest book or a personal blog, you don't need some huge, complicated database. A simple text file works perfectly. It's clean, it's efficient, and it just gets the job done. Okay, so we have our notebook, but before we can actually read from it or write in it, there's a really important first step. We have to actually open it. Think of this step as asking for permission. You can't just barge in and start scribbling. You have to say, "Hey, computer, I'd like to use this file, and here's what I'm planning to do." You have to state your intention right up front. And it really breaks down into two super simple parts. First, you tell it which notebook by giving the file name. Second, you tell it what you want to do. Are you just looking, or are you going to write something new? That intention, that's what we call the mode. So once we have that notebook open and ready, what can we actually do? Well, it really all comes down to two main things: reading what's already inside or writing something new. This is such a great way to see those intentions we talked about. There are three main modes. R is for reading. That's just looking. W is for writing, which is kind of like opening the notebook to a totally blank page. And A is for appending, which means you're just adding on to the very end of what's already there. Choosing the read mode is definitely the safest option. The computer knows you're only there to browse. It's basically a guarantee that you can't accidentally mess up or erase any of the information that's already in there. It's a look, don't touch kind of thing. Okay, so this is the most critical difference to understand: writing versus appending. Using W for write mode is a big deal. It completely erases everything in the file, and you start from zero. Appending, on the other hand, with A, is much gentler. It keeps everything that exists and just adds your new stuff to the very, very end. And here's what that looks like in the real world. This little bit of code, fopen, is the command that makes it happen. You give it the file name, cookies.dat, and the mode, R. That's it. It's just a simple, clear instruction to the computer. So we've looked at how to read and write, but what about the rest of the file's life? Let's talk again about how we add to it, and then what happens when it's time to get rid of it completely. We did touch on this, but it is so important. It's worth asking one more time. What exactly does it mean to append something? It's really just as simple as it sounds. You find the very end of the last sentence in your notebook, and you start writing your new thought right there. You don't change anything, you don't squeeze anything into the middle, you just add on to the end. And finally, every notebook gets filled up or just isn't needed anymore. In the digital world, we need a way to tidy up. A command like unlink is the very last step in a file's story. It tells the computer, hey, this information isn't needed anymore. You can let it go. All right, let's bring all these simple ideas back together. It might feel like we've only gone over a few basic things, but honestly, these steps are the silent foundation for how computers remember pretty much everything. So, let's recap. A file is just a container. You have to open it first, telling the computer exactly what you plan to do: read, overwrite, or just add on. And then when you're done, you close it to put it neatly back on the shelf. That's the whole cycle. It's kind of incredible when you stop to think about it. These few simple commands, open, read, write, append, close, they make up a language. And it's the language that our apps are speaking every single second to remember things for us. And once you really understand this basic language of how files work, a whole universe of possibilities just opens right up. Just like one of our sources says, what you can build is truly unlimited. So the next time you click save,
Just for a second, pause. Think about that digital notebook being opened, your words being carefully written down, and that notebook being put away safely. What story, what little piece of information are you asking your computer to hold onto for you?